Bine ați revenit! Înțeleg că am făcut o mică eroare cu meciul Andrei. Noi când am plecat de acolo arătau lucrurile foarte bine, am zis că reușește să se califice, n-a făcut-o. Ne-am întors cu Laura Siegemund. Thanks for being here.
Thank you.
And very good tennis until now.
Thanks a lot.
How does Bucharest work for you?
Well, I like it a lot so far. It's my first time actually. And I mean, the weather is very hot, I like it.
You don't say.
Yeah, no, but I really enjoy it so far. Yeah, I mean, obviously it comes with, you know, how you play also, and
Yeah,
I'm very
of course.
happy with my performances so far.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I really like the venue, I like the tournament, yeah.
How about tomorrow? You've played Hercog in Stuttgart.
Mm-hmm.
You've beaten her,
Yes.
and now you're slight favorite, if
Well,
you ask
yeah.
me.
Well, yeah, I never really care so much about being favorite or not. I try to, you know, take every day separately from each other. It's not Stuttgart now, it's Bucharest now. The circumstances are totally different. Weather, outdoor, everything is different. So, and I've seen her play. I watched her match in the last round because she was playing before me. And she played very aggressive, very well. So I certainly have to be prepared.
Yeah. Does that style suit you? You enjoy more playing aggressive players, or?
Well, maybe yes. Yeah, maybe I prefer if there is pace on both sides. I play aggressive. I try to, you know, dominate the points. And I guess so does she with her forehand especially, and maybe prefer that a little bit in comparison to grinders that just keep putting the balls back. Yeah,
that's why I was asking.
Yeah.
So listen, the tennis lovers are acquainted to you since the last 2 or 3 years. You're quite a late bloomer, aren't
Yeah.
you? How that worked for you? Why the spike?
I don't know. No, I think it's a combination of a lot of things. I played for a long time. I was okay. I was around 150. You know, it's not bad. Yeah. But yeah, it didn't work out as well as I always wanted it to work out, and I just decided that there is more about life than tennis, and took a break, studied psychology, and did a lot of other things. It was not only studying; it was, you know, just having a different lifestyle. Being a tennis player, you are on the tour pretty much all the time, and it was just enjoyable for me to be home, be with family and friends. It was very different after playing on the tour for 10 years already, even the small tour, the ITF tour. And I guess it gave me some new energy, and I never thought I'd be back on the pro tour like this. But I certainly enjoy it now. I play much better. I, you know, changed a lot of things. I changed my diet. I got fitter. I worked on my game, and things are clicking together now. It seems.
Yeah, it was a big time off for you.
Yeah, it was a big
time,
decision. It was a big decision just for me. In 2012. I just decided to pretty much to quit, you know, trying to improve my ranking. I didn't stop playing tennis, but you know, it's just what do you want to reach? What is your goals? Do you have goals still? And I just quit having goals, and I just said I play tennis to make some money on the small tournaments, to enjoy it, and play club matches more, this team matches, because I always like the idea of, you know, being in a team, and yeah, but worked out differently for me than I thought.
And why did you choose psychology?
Oh, it was always a subject that was very interesting to me. Even as a teenager, I would read magazines, and I think that it's just the human mind is just very interesting in all, not only in sports. I'm actually broadly interested in psychology, and certainly, you know, my experiences in sports would help me with that. But yeah, it's more about that than sports psychology.
And you've written a paper on choking,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
How does it, how is it different for a tennis player with that choking? We see that quite a lot on the tennis tour and not so often on other sports. Let's say football or let's say.
Well, I would say that the concept of the game and the counting system in tennis is certainly special. There is always a way to come back for someone that's down. I mean, if you're down love
very
3 in
interesting,
soccer, it's
No
just
point in trying.
there is no. In tennis, you have to, on a certain level, you have to win the game. You cannot play over time. You cannot just say, okay, I keep pushing balls around until the time runs off the clock, like in soccer. So you have to keep making the points, and that's a big difference to other sports, especially where there is a time limit involved. There is no time limit for tennis. You can be up 6-1, 5-1, and it's 30 minutes on the clock, but you can be out there for another 2 hours because your opponent is coming back. So I think it has a lot to do with the counting system, and it's really over until the last point is played. And then just choking can also happen in other sports, and we see it a lot. But I think probably mainly it's because of the counting system and the way the game goes.
Did you write it from experience only, or did you speak with other players too?
I did a literature work, so I went through the literature on choking under pressure, and it was more on the theoretical side. So it was more about what are the mechanisms that start working to, in the end have choking under pressure or not have it. So it was really the theoretical part of it, which is very interesting and certainly helps me a little bit sometimes, and maybe puts a smile on my face, because it's kind of nice to know the mechanisms that start running off in a certain point. And then the second part of the work is to design an intervention, especially in tennis. What you could do to not have choking under pressure. That's like kind of the two parts of the
So you
work.
have a tool right now.
Yes, but I haven't. I designed it, but maybe that's something for my master thesis. I would like to try it. So that this is something. I mean, this is what you have to do in a paper. You have to do something.
Of course.
That's your idea, and my idea is the design of that intervention. If it works out like that, I don't know. I would have to test it on tennis players.
Yeah, because looking back, that seems like a great idea for you.
Yeah,
because
I mean, it's a subject. Everyone is also the how do you say, the interesting thing about choking under pressure. No matter who you ask, everyone probably had it already in his or her life. Even not sporty people, like as a kid, you're trying to say a Christmas poem, and you practice it 100 times, and you're fine, and you go on to the family, and you want to say your Christmas poem, but you can't say it anymore. It's just gone. And so everyone, managers, or just anyone had this experience probably, which is very. It's not a nice feeling to have that. To know I can do this, but you're not able to pull it off.
So this is great news for your paper, right?
Yeah, that's why I wanted to write something, of importance, something that's touching the people, and this is something that's, anyone. I could give this paper probably to anyone. It's a little bit theoretical, that's why it's a paper, but it's on the scientific side definitely. But anyone could probably take something out of it and maybe. Be better, a little bit better the next time.
I bet all the media has asked you this before. How was it, that Stuttgart week? You've beaten almost everybody, right? Until the final.
Until the final, Angie was too good.
We were your fans because you've beaten Simona. How was it? How do you explain it? Or there's no point in trying to explain that?
No, I think I had a good. my performances have built up until that point. It was not like it was out of nowhere. I played really well the weeks before already. Won my first main draw matches in big tournaments coming out of the qualies, and then Charleston was a good week. So it was not out of the blue for me. Certainly that it was that good was a little bit out of the blue, but I knew I can beat people on that level, and my aim was to show that, and also to myself that this is just the level I have. And certainly it was a very good week, not expectable like that, but a little bit, looking back a little bit, a dream come true. But in that week I was very focused, and it was more like, it's like a flow. You keep doing the same things, you keep playing your matches, you keep having the same routine. So it's really at the end you look back to all this, but while you're in it, it's just flowing, and you just try to, keep it up.
Very nice, very nice. So looking forward for tomorrow, I was trying to enter your mind and ask you, how does the life on the circuit has changed for you? Is it different now? You're a top player now. You weren't that top player.
No.
Is it different? Because now I was telling you you're the slight favorite for tomorrow, and there's a lot of pressure, I imagine.
Yeah, I try not to feel pressure, but it's coming from outside. I personally don't feel it. It's always the pressure that people put on you and the pressure you put on yourself is two different things. I try a lot to, whatever I do, if it's my work at home, my practices on the tour, I try to feel a lot what are my emotions, what do I expect of myself, or what do I want to achieve. So I try to separate that a little bit, what other people want and what I want.
Yeah, very nice.
Which helps me a lot to be centered and find my way. But certainly things have changed. I mean, I walk through the venue here, and people want photos, and they know my name, they know me, they are very nice. It's different than before. Before I just walked off and no one cared who I am. So that's different. And then playing the big tournaments is different. Suddenly you're playing where you always wanted to play. So there's something I really enjoy a lot. I love to be on these big courts. I love to play in front of the crowd. So that are things that I always wanted to have, and I just played a long time without having them, just trying to get there. And now I'm finally there, so I'm really trying to enjoy this. Take it easy and enjoy it.
I can see that. You're very positive. And were there any matches between you and a girl like, let's say, Radwanska, that triggered this in you? Let's say, oh my God, I'm playing Gaga. I've never imagined this quite 3 months ago. How does it work? You're trying to block this?
I try very much to focus on the game plan. So I try to avoid playing against names or myths or things that people have done the previous week. It's very out there. It's kind of. It's a hard job. Every day is new, and every day now I'm on the list that people want to beat me, But every day it's just also, everyone can play tennis out there, can play really well. So it's also a little bit about the moment and catching the moment and being fit and good in that moment, in that day. And so that's what I kind of try to focus on. I try to, prepare well, build up, and then see that person on the other side and the game she plays, and try to have a good strategy against it. And I try to avoid thinking about unnecessary things like the ranking or who she beat the round before. I think it's important to focus on the things you can control and you can that are important in that day or in that match.
Okay, I know you're in a hurry, but a short curiosity. How do you beat a player like Simona? I'm not saying how do you beat Simona Halep, but how do you beat a player who plays like Simona? Because that was what you were saying, right?
I'm not gonna get into tactics here. I try to. I have to keep that top secret, but I would do it with her as with any other player I would play against. If I play Iguchi and she comes out of the qualies, I'm going to try to watch her previous matches. I'm going to try to find information about her unless I know her well already. If I know her well already, I'm going to look at previous notes I've taken. I have an, how do you say, a folder with the people I played and notes about that match. So I look it up. And then I know it's not going to be the same tomorrow maybe, but everyone has a game she likes to play and things she doesn't like to do so much. So I look it up, I prepare well, I have a strategy, I have a plan B normally, and then
a plan C and a plan D.
It's not good to have too many plans, but A and B is normally fine. Yeah. And then plan C is something that comes from the guts maybe, you know, you always have to have some kind of flexibility. And prepare well, you know, be in the moment, and I would do that with anyone. If it's Serena, if it's a qualifier, I think it's important to take it, you know, one step at a time in that day.
Yeah, listen, you've grown into a hell of a player, and I bet you're going to be a great coach because
very strict I would be probably.
Oh my God, yeah, very German.
I don't know, yeah, maybe a little bit.
Laura, it was a pleasure, and
thank you very
have
much.
A good match tomorrow.
Thanks.
And have a good tournament. It's a pleasure having you here.
Thank you for having me here.
See you. Mulțumim atât deocamdată, revenim mai târziu cu o ediție specială cu Simona Halep, dar până atunci facem o scurtă pauză să vedem câte ceva din meci. Mulțumim!